You may have already seen the video titled, "This group shows everything bad in Mythic plus Pugging." Well, this is that, only it's a speed run as well. This is a 4-minute key, and honestly, I'm not sure the previous video has more in it than this one. He actually has footage of the group building process. And I'll tell you what, if you guys want to replicate this at home, invite people who are under 1,000 score to your keys, and you too will see this hilarity. But this is a 10 Temple of Jade Serpent. This is the lowest key we have reviewed thus far. If you too are doing low keys and you have this hilarity occurring in your low keys, please consider recording it and sending it to me so we can all have a laugh at it, but we could also learn from it. Right at the gate, we have a bit of a warning sign here. The tank, the person who's actually recording this, says, "I think should be fine, just have to line of sight the elementals at the start for their debuff, right? I'll keep them on the corner so it's easier." It's a warning sign because this gets said in the first place. We've talked a lot about kind of needless communication, almost setting the stage here for you not being super confident in what you're doing. I would not recommend this, especially in a key like this. Like, it's such a low key, it just doesn't really matter. There's no real need for any type of communication. But the bigger warning sign is that nobody actually replies. Like, he's asking a question about what to do and nobody has any input. The good thing about a key this short though is we don't even really have to edit anything. Here we go, let's get right to it. So we start by pulling that. Somebody actually aggroes it for them. But yeah, this is a very normal first pull. Now this is recorded on the Fortified Grievous week, so I get it. This can be difficult, but there we have our first death of the dungeon, Oyama. And the monk, who is the healer, by the way, says, "Guys, kick." Yeah, you see down here is the interrupt tracker. Not really sure what he wants kicked, but you know, this is the healer saying this who has his interrupts available. Guys, kick, yeah. Not really too big of a deal though. Only one actual death here. It is also spiteful. Watch this. Here's the spiteful. It is on Oyama. Here's his health bar here, and there it is now clear, empty, blackened. And a keen eye might miss this, but I've watched this footage very, very many times. Let's see if we can pause it at the exact right moment here. The guy says, "I really feel like leaving this key." This is the guy who has now died twice on 2 trash packs, once to a spiteful. And the funniest part about this is the guy's from the server Ragnaros, but this is EU Ragnaros. It's not the US realm. Even the EU realm is giving the US realm a bad name. I think it's equally funny though that nobody actually says anything about that. I mean, the guy dies twice and then talks about leaving, like, but nobody even replies to the guy. And I have to say, I think it's because of these Thundering weak ores. As much as I like add-ons helping with mechanics and stuff like that, this is just spam. It's really annoying. Like, you can't even see the chat sometimes. But then he has something else that he wants to say. He said, "You just fucking up all my CDs, tank." So like, I have no idea what he's referring to there, because he probably like popped all of the CDs on the pole there and then died to the spiteful. It's like, I mean, you died to spiteful, so I'm not sure you could really blame the tank. Now he's really pissed. He goes, "Why you can't heal, man? I died 3 times cause of fucking dot," all caps again. The monk then corrects him saying, "You died once of melee and once of spiteful." And then, as I guess nobody should be surprised by, that guy actually just leaves. It's not over though. Then the monk says, "And that's why you don't invite kiddos, leader." They need to add like an age on Mythic Plus score. That's probably a good idea. The funniest part is like, this is all very, 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 very standard. Like, nothing that has happened in this dungeon thus far is in any way a concern to me. And again, it's a 10. I mean, I get it. People have different difficulty levels for their game, but yeah, I think if you die 2 times in the first minute of this dungeon, you're probably going to be all right to keep going, don't you think? There's one little tip I can give though, so we can at least try to learn from this. What we're doing here is pulling both of the water speakers up the ramp. What you're doing here by double death gripping here is you're then like burning your charge of death grip. And as you see, we're ultimately going to disband this key over this tidal burst going off. Now again, we have 4 interrupts up, including the tank here. And as you see, none of them are going to get used. So certainly not because of the death grip not being available, but yeah, we have multiple ways to deal with that. You know, still do multiple ways to deal with these Hydra Lances hitting people. But it's actually really funny because you can learn a lot about just the way these types of players are communicating. It's like a clear indication of what is wrong with the game currently, and I still don't have a very good answer as to why it's happening so frequently. But basically, you have somebody who's like mad before the key even started. We're not even out of the first hallway, and he goes, "I died 3 times because of a dot." So, like, first of all, that's just not how the game works, right? There's no like dot in the game that's just gonna straight up kill you in this amount of time. I mean, we're not even 3 minutes into the key. What dot do you think does that amount of damage that would that you would have died 3 times to it already? And second of all, like he ultimately dies because tidal burst goes off and nobody, including him, interrupts it. So this is again, this is why low keys are so difficult, because you have players like this guy who, I mean, he literally enters the key mad, right? Like, what else is there to say? He's talking about leaving less than 2 minutes into the dungeon after a single death, really, because the other one was completely his fault. And he starts like freaking out, typing in all caps and blaming others. So like, how do you progress with somebody like that in your key? The short answer is you cannot. That player has to learn this hard lesson. He has to be taught somehow that he needs to start taking responsibility for his mistakes, or even like not, don't even need to take responsibility. You just need to not make everybody else angry after you have these mistakes happen to you. Just don't tilt the group. It's really that easy. Don't talk about leaving. Don't start typing in all caps. Have better control over your emotions, guys. Really strange to me how many people play this game and have such a weak control over their emotions that they actually cost themselves progression. Kind of where the game's at, kind of where Pugging's at. So let me know if you guys have any more footage like this. I have a couple more that I do want to get recorded. We'll see you guys soon. Hope you've been enjoying the hilarity. Playlist is now like 6 or so videos deep, so make sure you guys check them out if you haven't seen them all. Thank you for watching. We'll see you guys in the next one.